Team Real Life, please welcome Alex Heller!
Thank you. Just a quick note, please enjoy those golf pencils, your real life golf pencils, instead of filling out an online survey after the show. Okay? Nobody does that. Nobody. We all know nobody actually texts those numbers back. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I intend to prove to you today that real life is in fact greater than the internet in every conceivable way. For example, one of our opponents here just mentioned that the internet is free of refuse. Well, we all know that to be a lie. It's the internet, you know, in its many forms is like communism or covering your body with chocolate sauce in an effort to seduce a partner. It's great in its ideal form. The outcome is never what you think. In reality, all of the same social ills and refuse exist online like they do in real life. Take, for example, some comments under a YouTube clip of the recent Bruce Jenner interview. How creepy, you are a satanic demon posed to be a real Bruce. You sold your soul to Satan and now Satan is using you to mislead millions to hell. You are part of the Illuminati. I've run into you a couple of times on the road and you give me rude, ugly looks. I don't care for you or who you are. Or what about this other commenter who just says, gay? What if we turn to the comments under Taylor Swift's new single? Operations 1000 says, Taylor Swift is a Sagittarius, the most clueless and childish sign in the entire zodiac when it comes to relationships. Even more so than Pisces. They like the idea of a relationship, but once they're in it, they're like, OMG, LOL, gotta escape. No wonder she burns through so many lovers. Trust me, both of my exes were Saggies, same shit. I'm the dumb one for falling for it, I guess, though. Next time, what's your sign? Sagittarius, you say? Bye-bye, Felicia, P.S. you're a bitch. I think we can all agree, wow. But clearly the internet is not safe from this kind of abuse and refuse, as you put it. The worst kind of thinking is prevalent online. Now, here I would normally include an example of some really, really bigoted remark, but I am ashamed and too shy to have Nazi-affiliated websites in my search history, so just take my word for it. Racism exists. Now, the internet, as we've heard, is supposed to save us time and money and streamline our workday and connect us across vast distances. But a Stanford study from 2009 revealed that, quote, online multitaskers are more easily distractible, struggle with organization, and are less dynamic workers than their unique tasking counterparts. Now, what does this mean? This means that the internet, while you're working on it, if you use it for work, is actually more of a distraction because you spend too much time looking up your ex's Facebook. Oh, what's she doing? She's skiing? Damn you, Felicia, take me back! The internet says it will do one thing, but then does the opposite, right? The internet is your parents when they told you you would go to Disneyland, but took you to the dentist. The internet is your boss who said he'd give you a raise but then bought himself a Porsche. The internet is the European settler who looked at his Indian companion and said, all this land? We're gonna share it. The The internet makes things confusing and creates problems we didn't have before. I know this from experience. A friend of mine recently messaged me over Facebook, and he said, "Hey Alex, I heard Pete, a guy we used to work with together, that you got in a horrible car accident and died. Is that true? Are you dead?" Well, it turns out that due to the internet's horrible and distracting influence, I read that message but then forgot to respond to it. Next thing I know, 100 people think I'm dead, and they don't get to have the time back that they spent planning my candlelight vigil, and for that, I blame the internet. Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. These are all people who have something in common. First, they all pioneered new ways for us to use and interact with the internet. Second, they are all real people who lived in real life. If it weren't for their overwhelming realness, we wouldn't even have the internet. So when these people say things that are so great about the internet, remember that what they're really saying is, isn't it great that real life is so amazing it created the internet? Real life is also great because it's called real life. It's right there in the title. It's real. For example, you can interact with the internet using only 2 senses, sight and sound. But in real life, you get to use all 5 senses, right? That means the internet deprives us of 3/5 of the awesomeness of life, okay? I would rather smell 100 shits and 1 flower than no shits and no flowers. That's the spice of life. Now let's imagine that the internet and real life are both of your friends. Who are you going to have a better time with? Who is a better friend? The internet is the guy who tells you to skip work because he's got a new conspiracy theory that needs researching. The internet is your friend who invented Adult Friend Finder and in his spare time distributes pornography to children. The internet is the guy who keeps telling you how awesome it was back in the 90s. Come on, internet, get with the times. We're living in the here and now. What about this? The internet is the guy who just says, come on, just click it. Come on, just click it. Click it. And then he gives you a virus. But real life is always there for you. Real life doesn't care what kind of person you are. He accepts you for you. Real life will grow old with you. Real life realizes that, hey, you guys are doing good now, so real life is down to see where it goes. Even if things get weird, because real life is down with weird. Real life doesn't care if you say things like, oh my God, is this real life? Because he's got it covered with a vacation planned, where you'll walk along the beach and gaze out at the ocean and say, oh my God, this is real life. Because real life's fucking awesome. Thank you very much.